Hi, this is the Appraiser's View brought to you by Asset Appraisal Services. We're going to be talking about the correct way to disagree with an appraisal. The thing to understand is you do have a bit of a headwind going against the whole process when you're coming into what we call is a reconsideration of value. At our shop, we have a formal process where we're open to looking at more information, just as long as we are the ones who get to make the final decision. But a lot of shops are less resistant to the process because a lot has been made over the last couple of years about appraiser independence. In the meltdown, there was comments that appraisers might be catering to lender pressure, and a lot of legislation came about, a lot of things to try and remove this lender pressure and to try and keep appraisers independent and not under anybody else's influence. And so appraisers tend to be pretty isolated or defensive about this issue, and so just the understanding that there is a little bit of a headwind on this goes a long way. We've helped a lot of our clients. Our practice does a lot of consulting in different areas, and sometimes people come and they say, listen, we had this appraisal, we really disagree, and we'll go in and we'll help them and show them how to successfully do this. And that's what we're talking about here today, what we've learned in that process, consulting with our clients and helping them successfully get their reconsiderations of value. But one of the important things to remember, and one of the most important thing to remember, is that an appraisal is an opinion. It's not a science. Nobody went through and added up a bunch of numbers and the answer is either right or wrong. It is someone's opinion, and you really can't prove someone's opinion to be wrong. You can ask them to maybe change their opinion and consider more information, but you really run a lot of danger when you come to someone and say, you've got a broken opinion, because you have a problem proving that their opinion is wrong. And so it kind of comes into the whole thing. The second tip is that you can really actually attract more bees with honey than with vinegar. We get a lot of phone calls at the appraisal office where people come in and they're very aggressive and they're combative, and they say, you did a bad job, your appraisal's broken, all this type of stuff, and it leaves us only one stance, and that is to defend our work. So the more aggressive you are, the more aggressive someone is, the more the tendency is to go, no, wait a minute, we didn't break anything, our work was good, our work was correct. Think about what you do for a living. If someone comes and attacks you in your profession, you're kind of really required to say, no, wait a minute, I know what I'm doing, I did a good job. And so the same thing certainly holds true with an appraiser. And so the hint or the tip here is to not put someone in a defensive posture. When we do our reconsiderations for our clients, when people have hired us to help them with their reconsiderations with other appraisers, we'll put together some verbiage in a cover letter that says, we appreciate your work on this project, we can see that you were diligent and that you actually did a good job, and we do have a little bit of information we'd like you to consider, and then we lay out the facts. And so it's really important to give people respect throughout the process, letting them know that you appreciate the work that they did. You just have a little bit more information that you're asking them to reconsider. And that goes a lot further than people coming in and saying, well, you broke it, you messed it up, and trying to shove something in the process, and it's really tough to then leave us a lot of room to move when that's the case. The third thing that to remember, and that is you're going to have your most success in getting a successful reconsideration of value is if you've got hard data. And the hard data that's going to be the most successful is closed sales that sold supporting the value that you're trying to support. A lot of times we get people coming to us and saying, hey, your conclusion was wrong because this property had this, and this, and this, and sometimes that's not enough to really go, because you have to remember the appraisal process is not it's not an adding up all the features in the home. This feature is worth this, plus this feature, plus this feature, plus this feature to come up with the value. What the process is going out in the marketplace and saying, okay, all these homes have all those features, these homes sold for this, and that's what the value is, and then adjusting for any differences. So really, the comp sales kind of typically already have a lot of that in there, and so that's not as successful as coming in with hard data on sales and saying these homes sold here. Would you consider looking at these? That's a lot more successful that process that we have seen. And then the last thing to consider is nowadays there's proper channels. We do take the phone calls from the owners and from the realtors, but really the proper channels for a reconsideration of value is from our customer, and that's the lender. And so the lender really has to be the one to request it, or has to be open to it. So make sure that you're going through the right channels and that you're going through the lender to have all this done. The lender's got to be ready to receive the report, and so it's really got to, the request has really got to come through the lender. The lender has to know that it's coming. And so one more tip is to respect the lender too in the process, and don't accuse them of breaking anything, and just let it be a little additional information, a little additional work on the project, and you're going to have a lot more success. So there it is, and we appreciate it till we talk again.